I've just been running around looking for my headphones, and I couldn't find them. So I'm in an old pair of the white ones that stick in your ears.
You sound beautiful.
Well, I don't think that's got anything to do with the headphones. The headphones have nothing to do with how I sound, but I'm glad that I sound beautiful. It's been a long time. It's so nice to hear your voice.
It's been a long time. So much has happened. The world has changed.
Has it? Has the world changed?
I've taken up knitting, all sorts of things.
Let's talk about knitting.
I can't yet because I've got my first lesson this afternoon.
Have you... Is this, as they say, true fact?
It's a true fact, yes, indeed. I decided
false facts.
over... Yeah, as opposed to the ones that Mark Zuckerberg wants us to enjoy.
I don't know what that's about, but I like Mark Zuckerberg. I've loved him for years. He's one of my favourite people in the world. I trust Mark. I trust Mark with all of my data. Or data.
I mean,
data?
You should definitely trust him with everything. So you don't know that he has decided that he will get rid of all meta fact checkers?
Yes, I actually. So
you did.
I didn't. I've just realised that's exactly why I had heard that. I follow some tech blogs, so I get yes.
Yeah.
Yes, no, I think he's allowing the community to do it.
Yes, and we know how well that turns out for everyone. Because if we've learned anything about humankind, they can be trusted.
But seriously, before we change subject to knitting, which I'm looking forward to, Marky Mark, and the Zucky bunch, he, at least this way, he's not. There's no pretense of fact checking. Like, actually, in a way, I prefer this because they were pissing in the wind with the previous version. So at least there's no pretense of it this time.
Yeah. Also, just for anybody who feels the need to have a soundtrack, there's a beautiful song by Badly Drawn Boy called "Pissing in the Wind."
I've been pissing in the wind. I chanced a foolish grin and dribbled on my chin.
This is a podcast in which two friends talk about the pleasures, absurdities, and imperfections of being human. I'm Simon Ellis.
And I'm Lee Miller. Welcome to Midlifing.
And from pissing in the wind to knitting, you're taking up. You can't say
I am
you've taken
taking. Well, what I can say is I have bought my sticks, not called sticks, they're called needles. My knitting sticks.
Hit me with your knitting sticks. Hit me.
Over Christmas, I found myself trying very hard to reduce my screen time.
I just wish you'd just stopped it. I found myself. That would have been...
Mic drop. I found myself trying to reduce my screen time, and I read more while I was away. Great. I found it really hard to keep reading when I came back from Christmas because of work being a thing that
involves reading.
Exactly. So it doesn't matter what I'm reading, it just doesn't feel relaxing. I feel like I need to make notes.
Even if you're reading
Lee Child.
Yeah, Lee Child. Okay, so you needed to find another hobby that wasn't anything similar or approximate to reading.
Yeah, I just needed to come off the screen because I feel like doom scrolling and is not good, and also I just wanted something that was going to be a bit more relaxing, and so I thought, knitting, especially this is the year that I have committed to not buying anything, doing really well. Very proud of myself.
Oh, yeah. You have to buy some wool, though, right?
Yeah, that doesn't count. I'm allowed to buy materials if I'm going to knit a scarf.
Right. And are you starting with a scarf? You know why I realize I sound so good?
Why?
My mic plugged into the... fuck. I just saw a cord hanging down. I went, that's weird.
So does that mean that we've recorded none of this on your end?
It means we've recorded all of it, but probably through the mic on my iPad.
Which is fine. So we'll just at this point say, sorry everybody for the slightly wonky sound quality on Simon's end. Hopefully things are about to improve.
Hopefully it's just improved. Can I just check? No, I think we're good. Hello.
Okay.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Oh, I'm so sorry. That's embarrassing. It's because of the change in the setup on not having proper headphones that I had to.
Yeah, because you lost them. So there we go. That's my new news. And I'm going to be starting the attempt at becoming a knitter. No guarantee, no promises.
And do you think you'll enjoy the kind of boredom of it? I mean, it won't be boring initially, though, will it?
No, but I think I will enjoy the body memory of it when I get there, if I get there. But what I can say is this. Bob, because she's a sweetie pie, saw me frustrated and struggling. And so she spent an afternoon Googling what to do if you're shit at knitting.
So she was on a screen. She was having screen time.
She was having screen time to fix my attempt to not be on screen.
Screen time by proxy, that is, Lee Miller.
Exactly. But
a little bit like Munchausen, but different.
A little bit, but screen time by proxy. She found
killed by screen. Go on.
She found a knitting process for kids, which is finger knitting.
Oh yes.
And she said, like, little children can do this, so you can probably do it. And she taught me how to do it. Oh, it was an entire afternoon of deep, deep joy where all I did was made this very, very, very long and very, very thin scarf, which, I have to say, I am married to the best person in the world because she wore it with pride the next day to work.
How long was the aforementioned thin scarf?
About 6 foot long, and she just wrapped it, but it was like about 3 inches wide, and she just wrapped it around time and
was
time.
Was it really
time
6 foot long?
Oh yeah, I knitted and knitted and knitted. I was having such a good time.
You knitted your ass off.
Yeah. There we go. Anyway, that's the end. That's the beginning and end of all the new information. Although I have, of course, been all around the globe since last we spoke.
You've been to Portugal.
Yeah, and not for fun this time, everybody. Please don't think I was having a good time. I wasn't.
Yeah, you're having a shit time, weren't you?
I was having a busy time. I was like working 10-hour days.
Oh, was that the Portuguese?
In a minibus with 13 other academics.
13 hours a day in a minibus.
Yeah, it was really, really long days because we started in Porto and we were travelling all across the country. So we were just sort of zigzagging around Portugal. We didn't go any higher than Porto, so we didn't go further up, but we went inland, went over to the coast, we went to Lisbon, we ended up in Faro. We did cover an awful lot of miles. But imagine what you think being on a minibus with a load of academics who you don't know is going to be like.
You weren't singing Kumbaya.
No, but you know what? What a lovely bunch of people.
Nice. Did
Absolutely.
any of them knit?
Every one of them. Not one of them knitted, which was a disappointment to me because they could have given me tips. But I didn't take my sticks, so it wouldn't have mattered anyway. I did go to a research centre about wool, though, which was fascinating.
But wait. Can you take your knitting sticks on the plane?
That's a good question, and it's one I'm going to have to find out.
They look pretty stabby to me.
They do look stabby, but I think it's cutty that people are bothered about rather than stabby. Because if you think about it, you're allowed to take pencils.
Good point.
Because
I've seen Jack Reacher. He's done some serious damage with a pencil or two.
Yeah, absolutely.
So did Hannibal Lecter.
Anyway.
No, I'm not sure. Oh.
Didn't he do something with a paperclip as well?
Oh, I was talking about Hannibal Lecter the other day because I've been planting trees all week and as one does, and the dog. We had 2 dogs with us, but one dog is just a fantastic dog, but definitely had a troubled upbringing, a wild dog, and so for one reason or another has to wear a muzzle.
Right, okay.
And so he was Hannibal, and I think he's a scary dog when he barks. She's a scary dog when she barks. Beautiful, but that bark, but the muzzle, terrifying. Makes her look even more terrifying.
Muzzles are a curious thing on a dog, aren't they? Yeah, they do. They up the anxiety factor, even though theoretically they should reduce it. because the sharp bits are hidden.
I saw a couple of films this week, and I'd like you to guess what they are, based on a common element whose name is John Lithgow.
So,
also, one other hint: religion.
Footloose.
Wow! Holy shit! Wow! Wow! Yeah, I don't even think you gave listeners a chance to think what that could be.
So Footloose would be one of them, and then when I try to think about what the other would be, I get a little bit like, ooh, Lithgow's career to me is
It peaked at Footloose.
No. There's also, I mean, I can tell you he was in...
World According to Garp.
That's it I was going to say. I saw him in The World According to Garp, and then not long after, I saw him in The Adventures of Buckaroo Bonzai Across the Eighth Dimension.
Wow,
a
I loved that
little-known
film.
Peter Weller film.
I loved that film.
Did you like it?
Yeah, I love that film. I think
One
I've
of
seen
my
that film
favourite-
maybe 3 or 4 times.
What was the other John Lithgow film?
So it's a film that's currently out, or was a new release, called Conclave.
Oh, I've heard of this.
I thought of you. There's a thing that happens in the film, that's a thing common to all films, right?
It is, isn't it? Things happen as a rule.
Yeah. I think actually, I think this episode could be about things that happen, and when it happens, I thought, because I was thinking this is not a film that Lee Miller would love at all. I don't like to guess your taste, but generally I think if I'm liking it, Lee's not liking it, or if I'm
that's a pretty good rule of thumb.
But there must be some overlap, right?
Well, we've just found out there's Buckaroo Banzai Across the Eighth Dimensions, one of them.
Yeah, but I was like 12 or whatever.
Yeah,
I think before I had taste, frankly. I don't mean good taste. Just before I acquired.
I was going to say before you had your taste informed by what you think you should like, because that's what the cognoscenti tell you.
Don't for a second think I've never thought I've had good taste. I still don't think I've got good taste. So don't worry about that.
I went out for dinner with some people last night who are academics, and the kind of academics who say things like, "Oh, those Marvel films," and I'm thinking, yeah, they're brilliant, aren't they? They've got so many experiments and explosions and people flying. What's not to love?
Exactly.
So I know I'm in the wrong demographic for where I should be. But yes, go on. So, Conclave, a thing happened.
I'm not gonna. Yes, and I would love for you to watch it to know if you like it, but you probably won't.
Well, I will watch it because you've told me I should, and then we can find out if I liked it.
I would be I'd be very curious. I think my mother would have loved it. I mean, because it's about the Catholic Church,
religion. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not going to say any more about it. It's very, very beautifully designed and shot, and very, very beautifully. It's very well made, which is different from whether you like it or not. But that's not what I'm getting at. So I'm going to leave it there. Okay. So anyone who's seen it and knows what I'm talking about, don't write in, don't tell Lee, because we want him to find out and see what he thinks.
I may even watch it before my knitting lesson. We'll see.
Oh,
I probably won't.
Yeah.
I've got things to do.
But anyway, that's a little bit of homework for you.
Okay, thank you.
Pleasure. Welcome.
I've spent a lot of recent weeks, maybe last 10 days or so, revisiting the work of David Lynch, because of course
he died.
Sadly died.
I heard that. It's weird what passes through, what gets through the
filter.
The filter. Yes, yes. Also because I did spend a week with two very well-informed people who listen. They are news listeners and watchers, etc. So they were. I heard a lot of things that I don't think I would have heard otherwise.
What was your response to the news of the death of David Lynch?
I probably haven't been quite so. Well, put it this way: I think he was incredible. And I think he, like anyone gives a shit what I think about David Lynch. But just to be clear, there was something about his films that made me so uneasy, so beautifully uneasy, particularly in my late teens, early 20s. And I think that capacity to make people feel uneasy with such an amazing imagination was extraordinary. But that's all I've got to say about him.
I had a moment a little bit like when Victoria Wood died.
Aye. It
made me feel sad beyond the weight that it should have done for a person that I don't know.
Because of his influence on you.
Yeah, because I mean, I've been watching his films since I was about 11. I was introduced to Eraserhead by a friend when I was 11, and I remember being utterly struck dumb by how bizarre it was. And then my mum said, "Oh, well, you should watch Elephant Man." Because
like every mother says to their child at one point in their lives.
Yeah, because I'd said I watched this really weird film by this man called David Lynch, and I wasn't. And she went, "Oh, well, maybe you should watch Elephant Man because
was that
that's
also a
not
David Lynch
weird film." Yeah, also a David Lynch film. And then I had these two films, both black and white. I think it might be The Elephant Man. The Elephant Man was the one that comes in his filmography right after Eraserhead, if my memory serves, but I'm not sure about that. 81, I think. Anyway, somebody else can go and do the Ecosia deep dive. I just jumped off DuckDuckGo for a little while to spread the love. And so then I had Eraserhead.
I think changing search engines is an important thing. It's a little bit like changing which side of the bed you sleep on, frankly.
Which I never do.
Yeah, but what about your spine?
What about my spine? Will it be happy if it goes on the other side of the bed?
I think sleeping on one side of the bed is different from sleeping on the other side. You only know it because when you sleep on the other side, you go, "Wow, this feels different."
But then that would effectively mean that I had to lie on top of Bob, which is no hardship, but for me. But she might struggle.
Oh, you would have to actually get her to sign up into the bedside swapping exchange.
Nah, she wouldn't be. No, she'd be like, "No, all my stuff's on this side of the bed. Don't be stupid."
Yeah,
and that's a good point. It's a fair point. Oh, maybe we'll do it in a hotel.
Little and I used to change every night.
Shut up.
We would move our things from the side, and we'd shift it every night.
That is mind-blowing.
It's true.
I don't think I'm the only person in a long-term committed relationship who thinks that's mind-blowing.
I suspect you're right. I think it's probably quite an unusual thing to do.
It is.
Yeah. Well, it's changed now because her body just, post-cancer, just het up, as they say, just got hotter and hotter and hotter. And so she's always has to be closer to the window than I do. She's a very hot sleeper.
Did you say it het up? I don't think that's what that means.
I don't think it is either. But I wanted to use it.
I really like the idea.
People who don't have English as a first language, just helping them out.
just to helping them out.
I'm just helping them out.
What we're doing is we're changing all of the past tenses because it's just so much easier. It's like
easier. It's easier.
Stop it! You're such a monster.
Stop.
Oh my life.
Glorioso. Yeah, that's true fact. True fact. Both true facts. Listen. Oh, lots of bird action outside.
Ooh,
yeah,
I love that.
Yeah, I think it's a sunny day, and I think they're just a little bit sprightly. Have we got some content at 23 minutes into this? Remembering that we might have lost the first 9 minutes because I hadn't plugged the microphone into the iPad.
I mean, that's true. I don't have content, mostly because it feels like today's an incredibly important and necessary just catching up.
Oh, well, okay.
It's been a long time since we spoke.
I do have a bit of news, actually.
Go.
So on Monday, a little piece of plastic is going to arrive at an address in Rome.
Oh, okay.
And this little piece of plastic is called un permesso di soggiorno.
No.
And that means that's a visa.
I know.
And it means that on the 20th of February, assuming, as Lil said, a lot can go, which she was told by the the people, the powers that be, last Monday that it was going to arrive this Monday, and she said a lot can go wrong to a little piece of plastic between one Monday and another Monday in Rome. So assuming it arrives, and she has it in her hands, on the 20th of February, she's going to take 2 huge suitcases full of cash, maybe 3 suitcases, because one for each sorella, one for each sister, and is going to buy a house.
Shitting hell.
It's happening.
This is very exciting. Can I just say, in reference to the many things can go wrong between Monday and Monday for a
little piece of plastic.
My mum would say, if she were to be listening, well, remember, Lee, there's many a slip betwixt cup and lip.
I mean, I just had a sip of peppermint tea, and I thought exactly the same thing, how wrong I could have unplugged it. All sorts of things could have gone wrong in that moment. So yes, so we're not crossing any T's or dotting any I's yet, but she's warming up her hands to carry those suitcases.
Yeah.
So I like the idea of flying with suitcases full of cash and then putting them on the desk and clipping them open and them having to count them all in €1 bills.
I really enjoy having to put them through the scanner and then people unclipping them and going, could you explain why you're travelling with 3 suitcases of cold hard cash?
Yes.
Yes,
I can.
I'm about to go and buy a house.
And why are there 3 suitcases? Well, because there are 3 owners of this house, and I don't want any of them to feel left out. But they better not keep the suitcases.
That was going to be my next question. Will you be gifting the suitcases?
I just don't think that's
the question
right. I think
ask.
They're doing well enough out of us not to need the suitcases as well. So I do have a question for you, though. I think it's related, and so there's a service. You can get a man with a van, basically, to drive your stuff from Coventry to Sassari. Right. And I sort of think of it as like it's a single van, so it's not like other people's stuff in it. And
it's just you.
Exactly. Just my stuff or our stuff. And I could fit a lot of our stuff in that van. A lot of it.
I misheard you then. I thought you said we could fit a lot of stuff in that man, but you said in that van. I was going to say, don't make him eat it.
I do not know how big the man is. I do not know.
You definitely wouldn't be able to fit all your stuff. I mean, unless he was very hungry.
Exactly. We could fit a lot of our stuff in that van. And there's, there'll be customs to pay, which is not at all cheap. Lovely. Thank you, Brexit. Thank you, Conservative Party. Thank you for your internal squabbling that you decided to. And
fucking entire generation and beyond, you absolute fucking
say it.
Dog dicks.
I'm
so cross.
Yeah. So it's not cheap. It would cost about £3,000, £3,500. That's door to door, right? A couple of days.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which if you think about the fact that they have to have the van, it's their time.
Exactly.
It's maybe
they just leave it at the van place there, and everyone just picks it up. They just leave vans at a place, and everyone just runs over and picks them up.
Maybe. Anyway,
and it'll probably cost about £1,000 as well for customs.
Wow. Okay.
So it's not something I want to do more than once.
Of course.
You can imagine, right?
Yeah.
But it does mean I'm left with the possibility of living in the bare bones of a flat for about 4 years, maybe 5 years.
Yeah.
With next to nothing in it.
Mm-hmm.
Because Lil and I mean, there's some stuff that we're going to have 2 of, but mostly we don't want to be in a situation where we're just buying a second set of crappy stuff.
Yeah.
So what do you think? Do you think I should do it all in one fell swoop come August? Or hold off and just get a few things there some way which Lil can survive on?
Okay, so my first question is, you don't want to buy a second set of crappy stuff because of an additional burden on the planet, or because you're not liquid enough to be able to afford things?
It's more about planet.
Okay, brilliant. So I've got a response then. Take everything over to Lil. Everything that you love, everything that you want to keep in your life as your forever stuff, Take it to where is going to be your forever home. That's the sensible strategy. And then the next thing is remembering, secondhand, the amount of stuff that gets given to charity shops right now, and not just charity shops, but go to the recycling centres by the tip. There is so much. There's like all councils have like refurnish places, and sometimes they will deliver. There is some incredible stuff, and I don't mean here from you can pick up an amazing 1970s Danish designed table. You probably won't get that, but you will certainly get serviceable furniture.
Hang on, I just got to cross that one off my list. Hang on. Well, anyway, yeah. So it's that is very, very good advice, Lee Miller. I appreciate it, and I think that's the way I'm leaning. Although anyway, I'm not going to say any more because I think it's a little bit boring. But it's it's on my mind. It's occupying my mind.
I've missed you.
I've missed you too. I actually have got. I'll be in touch soon. But good luck with your reducing screen time. I've got my phone pickups down to fewer than 20 a day.
That is incredibly impressive.
I hardly touch the bloody thing. I can't stand it.
I have got mine on a strap, and it dangles off my wrist like it's some kind of fucking baby that I'm constantly nurturing, and I hate myself for it. And also, the thing that really makes me cross... this is just taking a scab off. The thing that makes me really cross is I have it so that I can listen to things, and it's like there's a radio in the kitchen. Switch the radio on.
Yeah.
And why am I not putting the radio on? It's like, because I want choice. And I'm not even choosing anything. It's not even like I'm being discerning. I'm just pressing a button and whatever was queued up.
And it's not even a real button.
It's not even a real button. It's a fucking screen.
It's a screen.
It's a piece of glass.
It's owned and it's run by a guy who paid £1 million to be at the inauguration of some dude called Donald Trump. Thank you, Tim Cook.
Can we take a moment? Have we got enough time just to say...
No, Elon Musk?
I mean, come on. What the fuck was that, mate?
Child. Very wealthy child. On that note...
I'm going to go knitting. You're going to get some mozzarella.
I can't wait to hear about the knitting. We're going to have knitting
I can't wait to hear
for
about your
weeks
pizza.
now.
Don't count your chickens because I might get to the end of today and just find that I am so
But that's an important thing. That is an important thing to talk about.
It is, but I might be so bad at it. What if I'm bad at it?
Yeah, but you're not going to be good at it initially, are you?
No, I know I'm not going to be good at it.
And it's not going to be easy initially.
No, I know it's not going to be easy initially, but what I'm really anxious about is that not only will it not be easy and not only will I be bad at it, but in addition, I won't be able to even pick up the most basic stuff and that it will just be string and stick and me just going, it's string and stick and nothing's happening. I don't mind the idea Just remember what?
Oh, no, I didn't mean to cut in. I thought there was a moment.
Oh, all I was going to say is I don't mind the idea that I might make things where the tension is off and, it's not perfect. That's to be expected.
Yes, yeah. But don't in that sourdough workshop, it's amazing. I mean, I love watching beginners work with dough because they touch it so much. Don't. I mean, it's just one of those things that has to happen. They're going to touch it much more than they need to. So just don't touch those. Don't touch those knitting sticks any more than you need to. Don't touch the wool any more than you need to. Bye. Oh, God. Bye.
Bye.